China is angered by ASEAN due to joint exercises with the Philippines and the United States, automatically siding with the Philippines in the South China Sea. ASEAN perceives the increased joint military exercises and cooperation between the Philippines, the United States, and their allies, including Australia, along with China's strong reactions, as Manila's internal affairs. This regional bloc may regret adopting such a relaxed stance because sooner or later, escalating tensions could lead to a significant conflict among major powers in the region. It appears that ASEAN is shifting the responsibility to Manila to confront Beijing over overlapping territorial claims in the South China Sea, SCS, treating it as a bilateral issue. On the other hand, Manila seems to disregard the lack of ASEAN support. The bloc lacks consensus on diplomatic partnerships like the Quad, US, Japan, Australia, India, or military pacts like AUKUS, Australia, UK, US, designed to counter China's growing influence in the Asia-Pacific. While ASEAN regularly discusses SCS issues in its meetings, the group tends to take a subtle approach, possibly due to China's strength and the economic dependencies of its member states on China. Consequently, tensions persist in the disputed maritime region. Last month, the Philippines hosted joint military exercises in the South China Sea with the US, Japan, and South Korea, with the UK as an observer. As usual, China strongly condemned the joint exercises, considering them a collective effort to disrupt maritime stability and vowing to retaliate against any actions harming Beijing's interests in the region. Together, we send a strong message to the world, especially to those who may attempt to disturb peace, that our partnership is unbreakable, said Philippine Marine Corps Commander Major General Arturo Rojas, as quoted by the Associated Press. Following the ASEAN summit in Jakarta in September, ASEAN leaders reiterated their long-standing position on the SCS, emphasizing solutions based on international law and norms like the 1982 UN Convention on the Law of the Sea, UNCLOS. However, they failed to agree on joint initiatives to address China. At the annual meeting in Jakarta last month, ASEAN defense ministers emphasized the need to maintain peace in the South China Sea and exercise restraint in activities that would complicate or escalate disputes and affect peace and stability. They also reaffirmed their commitment to implementing the Code of Conduct in the South China Sea, agreed upon by China and ASEAN in 2002. ASEAN members rarely show unity in facing China, even though 4 of them, Malaysia, Brunei, Vietnam, and the Philippines, have overlapping claims with China in the SCS. Meanwhile, Beijing prefers bilateral negotiations on these claims, strategically giving China an advantage while weakening ASEAN. The Philippines takes a more aggressive stance than other ASEAN nations due to its geographic proximity and centuries-old historical ties with China. Meanwhile, Vietnam avoids external involvement despite intensive approaches from the U.S. While Indonesia does not file any claims, Jakarta faces increasing tensions with Beijing as China continues to ignore UNCLOS, guaranteeing Indonesia's sovereign rights over the Exclusive Economic Zone, EEZ, in the North Natuna Sea, located at the southern tip of the South China Sea. China insists that its fishermen have the right to catch fish in Natuna waters, which have been their traditional fishing grounds for thousands of years.